Indian River Connections brings you the first source you can watch for truth on board decisions in Indian River County. The Board Report, where taxpayers and policymakers intersect. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Visit IndianRiverConnections.com for more. Sponsored by Gus Curran's House of Champions.
I think I got the wrong ad up there. I think we've got. Didn't our ad have John's voiceover on there?
It did.
Yeah, we got the wrong ad. Anyways, we still have Gus Curran's House of Champions sponsoring our show tonight and every night, right, Joanne?
Yeah, we do.
Or you know what? I think I've got feedback. That's what I'm hearing. Hold on. Sorry. I hear our sponsor's commercial in the background. Don't ask me what that is, but I fixed it. Anyways. How you doing, Joanne?
I'm doing good. We're ready for a good show tonight. You know, we're talking about the city council again, but we have updates because that has not gone back in the wayside. We still have activity going on.
Yeah, and it's bringing big headlines to our little local town, and not the good kind of headlines either. And it seems to be like not a trend, but a fad or something in these types of departments where these. I mean, it's local. It's as local as you can get, right? Where we see some of these strange people. I say strange. I'm a normie. Call me a normie. But some of these weirdos get elected to office, man, and it's that's what we'll be talking more about tonight, right? Is the saga downtown in Vero Beach, Florida.
Yeah, that's right. You know, these people get into the representative positions and they're always pushing the line. They don't draw the line at morality, and they just, it's almost like a popularity thing because it's like, look at me, look at what I'm doing. I'm breaking the rules and I'm getting away with it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Tonight we have Thomas Kenny from the Sunshine Journal, editor-in-chief, and Kevin McDonald with us again tonight, right?
Yeah, we sure do. And if you guys want to go to Thomas Augustus at Substack.com, he is the editor-in-chief of the Sunshine Journal, where real news and journalism comes to life.
Yeah, we'll be sharing. Well, I mean, most of our stories come from Thomas's page, so we'll be sharing some of his page and some of those national headlines also. But that's all I've got. You want to throw it to the commercial? Are we ready?
Yeah, let's dive right. Let's throw it to the commercial so we can dive right into it.
Tired of the same old workout? Come knock out your fitness goals at Gus Curran's House of Champions. Founded in 1996 right here in Vero Beach, Florida, our Hall of Fame trainers will push you to your limits and beyond. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, we have the perfect class for you, including the one-of-a-kind rock-steady Parkinson's training. So come join the fight and unleash the champion inside you. Give them a call, 772-713-1157, or go to gchouseofchampions.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Board Report. I'm Joanne Binford, and we have Thomas Augustus, editor-in-chief of the Sunshine Journal, and Kevin McDonald, previous school board member. Welcome.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi, Joanne.
Doing really good. So, Thomas, you've been covering the city news, and you even attended the meeting. Tell us some updates that's going on.
Well, since Tuesday morning, which was pretty interesting, that room was about 50-50. There were 3 television networks there, a couple of newspapers, and a partridge in a pear tree. But I mean, it was pretty electric. The room was filled. You can go to the Sunshine Journal, and I wrote a breaking update about the whole conversation that took place with pointing out Jennifer Pippin's comments, who brought the information and filed the complaint with the sheriff's department, also with the chief of police and the attorney general. And then the attorney general had come on that week when that happened, and I shared this in the original article of June 30th. They decided, hey, we're going to take this over from up here, And so that's why the chief of police and the sheriff, they got word and they said, okay, Attorney General Uthmeier, go right ahead. But anyway, it was a pretty packed room. And, no one had known that she had been subpoenaed. She did, because she was subpoenaed on the 8th. And I mean, we were talking back and forth because that news came down at 9:30. And that's when they gavel in the meeting. So, the phones are going around going, look at this. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Jennifer had to get up because she was just like stunned and shocked, all this jolt of energy and stuff. And so, people were on their phones looking at this and reading his statement the whole time this meeting's going on,
Mm-hmm.
which is very interesting. I thought that's interesting timing right there. Coordinated? I have no idea, because like I said, she was certified. She was certified by certified mail. Sorry, that she was. It happened on July 8th, so she knew. But it looked like her attitude or her disposition was very jovial, her usual self, Linda Moore's usual self. And we're sitting back there going, do you think she knows? I'm like, well, yeah, the Attorney General is not going to make it public until he's informed the person they're subpoenaing. Hey, this is going to happen. Or this is happening. So, and it turned out it was true. But it was almost like her attitude was almost like that subpoena didn't even exist, which was interesting. I thought she's confident about what she believes, and that's fun. So
yeah, Kevin, she kind of acted like she didn't do anything wrong at all.
I guess it comes from a perspective that they can't do anything wrong. They don't do anything wrong. And then when people challenge those kinds of people, they're stunned and they get very defensive. They become the victim, and they complain that you hold them to some accountability. They really don't believe that you should be accountable to anything. It's sad. Ideally, particularly when you're elected as an elected official, you should be able to put that hat on, and with that comes some responsibilities and comes some filters, and you represent not just yourself and not just a small group, but you take into consideration the part of the community that agrees with you as well as the part that doesn't. And you should be seeking a fair middle ground where different kinds of people can coexist amicably without stepping on each other. But there's that unfortunate situation that they always want to step on everyone else's toes. They don't respect other opinions.
Right. And I watched the video, and I remember when she was saying how she represented everybody. And I kind of thought she was just tossing the people under the mat and ignoring any of the things that they'd said to her and tried to explain to her what the issue was. Because the issue really isn't that people are offended by the trans, what do you call it?
Community?
No, what they do, the
local ordinance.
The drag queen show. I have a hard time remembering it's a drag show, but
it's not a drag race; it's a drag show.
Drag show, yeah. So people are not mad with her or concerned about the drag show because that's an adult thing and people do it. Girls get together and they have like a girls' night out and they want to do something and listen to something or watch something freaky. They'll go and watch a drag show and they'll laugh and it's an entertainment. It's like, it's different than going to a comedy show, but it's still entertainment. It is a form of art, is what some people will say, right? And not everybody agrees with it. But that's not the issue. The issue is that we need to protect the innocence of children. And when you think about it, if there is a child in that audience that's watching this drag show and they're being abused by that person or a person, right there, they're saying, I have nowhere to go because these people are all here. Look at all these adults. Who am I going to tell? Where am I going to go to be saved when all these people are enjoying this? You know what I mean? That's why children shouldn't be part of this. To me, I'm thinking, what if we have trafficking going on? We have kids that are being abused. And for a parent to think that's okay, it makes me wonder, what else is that kid exposed to? Is it appropriate? Is it inappropriate? Is the kid just being raised by an ignorant parent or a self-centered parent, or is the kid there with a parent that's already abusing them?
And there is the question of what is and what isn't appropriate. The good news is we actually have laws that determine what isn't appropriate. So laws say that you can't expose minors to that kind of thing. So whether you feel it's inappropriate or not, whether your neighbor feels it's inappropriate or not, you cannot respect your neighbor, but you have to still respect and follow the law. And this,
Absolutely.
the allegation, which seems very valid, is that this bar and the people there did not respect the law and they flaunted.
And this is at the heart of it, because Taylor Dingle waited until the board member discussion matters. So that's board member matters and that's at the very end, where each board member gets a few minutes to say what they want to say. And I have his statement here. He says, "I take no pleasure in asking this. Is it appropriate for individuals, male or female, to appear nearly nude and perform acts that could be described as lewd or adult in nature in venues within our city?" That's the core of it, not the politics, not the personalities, just the question of standards. What kind of community do we want to be? What's appropriate in terms of content, age, and location? How should businesses and citizens help shape those expectations? And should this case be reviewed by our code enforcement? And he pulled out the code. He says, "I only believe in the truest form of representative self-government. We elected representatives. The city has a charter, and the charter has the code of ordinances. And this type of activity in a business downtown is illegal according to city code. She sits as vice mayor of the city and willingly violates the code."
And not only willingly violates it, but she's got influence over the person who enforces it. So that's that's an undue influence and a conflict of interest.
It's very much so. And so, the thing that Taylor probably should have done was immediately, which he can do as a city council person, and he did not do this. And I was like, heck on it. He had an opportunity there to at least get people on record. He should have called for a motion to direct code enforcement to look into the matter and get people on record for voting, see if they would pass it. And she would have to recuse herself.
Right. Why do you
think you don't know which way she'd
do
go?
that?
Huh?
So why would Taylor Dingle not do that? Did he not?
I don't think I don't know why he didn't do that. He said, he goes, "I'm here to do the people's work and must be the voice for their city residents, business owners, neighbors, families who have reached out to me with serious concerns about what took place." One of those voices was former Mayor Tony Young. And Tony Young got up and did like 2 or 3 minutes worth. And then it was like a statement, and they left it at that. And I'm like, with something that you bring up that says there's been a violation and we need to recognize it. And the only way you can really recognize that in governing is by taking a vote. You can't do it any other way. You have to put people on record to see where, they can do this all day long and make beautiful statements and wax eloquently about the issues of the day. But if you don't vote on it, it's meaningless.
Right. Well, the question, though, is in their procedural system, are they allowed to offer a motion during the end of period comments?
That's a parliamentary procedure, and you as a member can offer a motion at any given time. You did it. Remember when you did it?
Yeah, I just
they looked at you and they challenged your ability to give a motion. You're like, no, you can do it anytime you want.
Right.
And that was a very crucial motion when you did it.
Wow. So can they bring this up again at the city council, and then he can bring up the motion at that time?
Absolutely. He could create what, for lack of a better term, like they call it the school board, an action item where they must take a vote. He could put it on the agenda. For certain, he could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
is there a local reporter who could follow up with him and see if he plans to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think Binford Chronicles is working on that story as we speak.
Yeah, but that would have been great, and I like what he said because it was very eloquent and it was on point, and it was factual. So, but he didn't finish it with the frosting on the top.
Yeah.
You know,
and I don't understand. You know, parliamentary procedure is pretty basic with board meetings, so I believe he could have done it unless they have special rules of some sort. I don't think they do. I mean, you know,
now we had this
local
other
government ain't
issue.
that sophisticated.
Now we had this other issue that came up with the mail.
Mhm.
And it seems like the city council member is using this as a opportunity for propagandizing by calling out Moms for Liberty and Miss Pippin as if she was the culprit of what happened, and there's no proof of that. And now she's got that GoFund page. So I'm wondering, is this her little form of, oh, I'm a victim, send me more money?
I don't think it's that at all. I just think it's someone did something very dastardly. Who it is, we don't know. In case Moms for Liberty, Jennifer Pippin at Moms for Liberty on the public page put out a statement, and I have it here. It says, "I want to make absolutely clear that neither I nor Moms for Liberty had anything to do with any mailings or packages sent to anyone this week. The formal complaint was filed solely by me," and it's the complaint against Kilted Mermaid, "Jennifer Pippin as a private citizen, not on behalf of Moms for Liberty. Any claims suggesting Moms for Liberty was involved in sending anonymous or deceptive mail are completely false and egregious. We are committed to following law in all of our advocacy, and we categorically reject any form of mail fraud or underhanded tactics. If Moms for Liberty or I ever send mail to an individual or business, it will be clearly labeled with our name or my personal name in the return address. We operate with transparency and integrity, and we continue to advocate for the protection and well-being of children." And she signed it, Jennifer Pippin. On the page, I believe she put the pictures of Linda Moore's statement, which you can find at Kilted Mermaid, and the mail pictures as well. These packages were, I guess there's some sort of objects in the package.
Thomas, perhaps you should give, for the viewers, give a little background to those who haven't seen this already.
So these came today, apparently. And, you know, when you read this statement right here, so this just happened, says Linda Moore. This is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. "Some thoughtful individuals decided to mail packages to all of the city and county officials from Kilted Mermaid. Guess what's in them? My art project will be definitely happening now." This is a reference to last April when she asked everybody for used sex toys, preferably dildos.
I think you did an article on that.
Yes, I did. And so she could do an art project, and she said drop them off at Kilted Mermaid. Well, it looks like someone put them in these packages, and fortunately, not only is this individual a horrible, sick person, but they are obviously very stupid, as all of the packages were postage due. So our mailman was kind enough to return them to us instead of delivering them to the intended recipients. I'm not a lawyer, but it certainly feels like it's illegal to send packages through the United States Postal Service with a return address. That is not true. You would think if Moms for Liberty had so much money to burn that they could buy all this stuff just to pull some kind of a weird, stupid prank. They could have maybe donated that money to a food pantry, the source, or maybe something involving kids. Isn't it kids what they care about? Well, Moms for Liberty or Jennifer Pippin sent this stuff. So she just sort of popped off about this. And if you can you zoom in on those pictures, Mr. Producer, when you look at the mail? Where's our producer person? And but if you look at the mail,
put it up there.
Yeah, if you can zoom in, that'd even be better. But you know, I know it's.
I mean, I can see it on my screen. I can read it. If you blow it up to fill your whole screen, that you could see that it's.
Yeah, you see those little red stamps there on the left of that one on the left there. There's a red stamp that says postage due, and they all.
Can you? I was trying to read it before. My eyes are going bad. Can you see the names of who this was mailed to?
They were mailed to every city council person and every commissioner.
John Carroll, Taylor Dingle.
Is there an envelope there mailed to Linda Moore? Can you see that?
More than one. I don't see Linda Moore yet. City clerk.
I was looking.
That's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, it does
Well, you
help.
can't see all of them.
The
So
question.
it could be on one of them. Yeah, there's a Linda Moore one. It's on
Which
the
one?
top left. The top left, if you count to the second one, you can see. From
Joe
the top
Bierman.
down.
Yep. No, that's Laura Moss.
Oh, that's Laura Moss.
Aaron Voss, John Coutinho. I got it blown up on my phone. Taylor Dingle, John Carroll,
Sarah Lohr,
Joe Flesher, Susan Adams.
Those are commissioners.
So apparently that
one of them is hidden.
Yeah, one of them is hidden.
And Eric Flowers.
Yeah. So apparently somebody that was at that meeting or watched that meeting was upset with it and just decided to.
Well, this does raise a lot of questions, though. First of all, we can't see for sure if there's an envelope to her. If there's not, it's not legal for her to open any of those other envelopes.
Yeah.
If there is, she's opened at least, or at most, one envelope.
Well,
I did not see an open envelope there. So how does she know what the contents of the envelopes are?
Well, the return address is her address.
Right.
So
that doesn't mean
the assumption is ownership. I wouldn't tamper with evidence if you got a problem like this anyway. I just would.
Exactly. If she mailed it and back to her return address, she could open it. She was one of the rightful owners of that property. But if she claims, which she is, that she did not mail those, she did not apply that return address to those packages, that somebody else did it, then she does not have rightful access and ownership to any of those packages except for the one that was addressed to her. So if there's not an envelope there addressed to her that was open, how would she know the contents of the envelopes?
Well, she could open one that had her return address on it.
That's what I'm saying.
If one to her, you know.
Well, but see, she can't open it with her return address if she didn't send it. Her return address does not make it her property if she was not the one who sent it. Yeah, so that's not an issue. But the question is, and even if she opened one and saw the contents of one, she doesn't know what's the contents of the others.
You think the post office will have a video if they went to the post office?
They did not go into the post office to do this because if they did, the post office would have demanded proper postage.
Oh yeah, you're right. So they probably dropped it in one of those.
So they dropped it. They dropped it in a mailbox,
but some of the post offices do a video.
Yeah, but they put 8 stamps on every one. The interesting thing about this is that, a lot of times when you do mail in the county, across county or whatever, Sebastian, Tavira, like I got friends in Sebastian. If I mail them something, it'll go through Orlando. You get that Orlando thing and then it comes to your house. There's nothing here as to where this ended up being transferred from. So I think it was probably, I'm speculating. I'm not a mail guy, but I'm speculating that this was dropped in on like a blue mailbox, thinking they had enough postage, and the city people pulled it out of the mailbox and went and weighed it and said, none of this is still owes postage, so we're going to return it.
Well, this is hypothetical, but if you're going to do,
I'm hypothesizing.
If you're going to go through all that effort, if you're going to start this project, go through all that effort. For one thing, the alleged items inside those packages, not that many people have access to that many of that kind of alleged item. But if you did, and you went to all that effort, so your first question is, who has access to a quantity of alleged items? Has there been anybody who's been
collecting in their nightstand?
Has anyone been collecting those up in the last couple of months?
Has it been confirmed, or did she just fondle the bag and realize what it was?
Well, that's the big question. How does she know how does she know what's in there?
Yes,
without knowing. If you're going to go through this project, you don't think you're going to take one of them and weigh them and get the right postage? So what is the chance of somebody mailing 12 of those, putting that much postage on it and that much effort into it and not getting the postage correct? That seems to be sort of unlikely.
Yeah,
I wanna interview that
but I'll
person.
say this, Kevin: frauds tend to leave a trail, don't they?
They do, but the question is which trail. I mean, you wonder if maybe the return address got the packages back to where they were intended to go. I speculate that whoever mailed them did not intend them to get to the county officials and city officials, but rather intended them to get to the return address.
You think so?
Oh well, there's a theory I haven't thought of, but
Yeah, I mean it's like either that or she said you're really, really stupid and you spent a lot of time and money being stupid, and it never dawned on you to weigh one of the packages.
That's
That
one way to
seems
get
unlikely.
the dildos delivered to your restaurant.
And it's one way to stir up some support in your GoFundMe if you were looking to do that.
Well, that's what I was thinking she was doing, being the victim. Oh, look, they're attacking me, and I need help with my attorney fees, and
Right. We don't know that. But that's one speculation that
it
has
is
floated around in the atmosphere.
well,
Yeah.
she's not having a hard time raising money. She's got $17,000 so far.
17,000
Today,
already.
48 hours.
All those people are okay with
Wait,
uh,
in just 48 hours?
Yeah.
yeah, she's
Well, that's interesting. This just happened at the same time the GoFundMe went live.
Yeah, she had 13,000 yesterday. I looked at it yesterday. It was 13,000, so she's raised 3,000 more since yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And
it seems for something like. However, if she does not have proof to her accusation, to Moms for Liberty and Jennifer by implication, but to Moms for Liberty directly, that's slander.
Yeah, it's slander and defamation. I mean, it's like you can't make that assumption just because Jennifer came up and expressed what she felt as a citizen. I mean, it's
Right.
wrong.
Now, it's interesting that she made this statement that whoever did this was horribly sick. Why? What's horribly sick about it? Because this person asked for someone to do exactly that to her restaurant last year.
In front of children. And
so the thing that she asked to have done happened, and she considers it horribly sick. I would tend to agree with her current evaluation rather than the prior one.
You got a point there, man. This happened so fast. I was like, huh?
Yeah, it just was. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is going on? Who would do that? Who would go to the length of doing that?
Well, sort of exactly, and if you really wanted it to get to the recipient, you'd walk inside, you'd weigh one, just for the heck of it.
We're kind of having a moral issue here in Florida. It's not just happening here. We had John. What was it? John Taylor.
James Taylor.
Not
the artist.
James Taylor, not the folk singer. Yes.
Yeah, James Taylor down in Fort Pierce, who got arrested on something like 20 accounts.
24 counts.
24
felony counts.
For for being a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this goes to why I think Jennifer is so valiant in just protecting children, because you have stuff like this happening all the time, and to have a culture that glorifies it on some level by having these very risque drag shows with kids present. You had an issue with a teacher at the school system who was found to be trying to have a relationship with a 16-year-old student at the Indian River Prep Academy. So this stuff is just, it's horrible.
It's real and it's happening.
Yeah.
And
it's the result of that type of culture.
It is. And for us to have this going on in Indian River County, this is a good, wholesome county, family county. We want our kids to be safe. We don't want our kids exposed to adult entertainment. We don't have a problem with the Kilted Mermaid having her adult entertainment. Just draw the line where it protects the kids. The kids need to be protected because The kids are the innocent ones. They don't know. They're not going to know what's right or what's wrong if you introduce them to all of this adult entertainment. They can't understand that. And then they watch this in public. They go with mom and dad, and then a teacher starts coming on to them that what's normal, what's not normal, what's good, what's wrong. They're confused.
Mm-hmm. Well, the people who are behind this are obviously confused as well. They want that to be perceived as normal so they can continue to push that envelope. They do not respect the fact that there are not only a large number of people, large percentage of our community who do not agree with that. And while they don't want to impose themselves completely onto those people who want to endeavor into these things. On the other hand, they don't wish to have that imposed on them as well. And we have a right, if we don't think that this is appropriate, we have a right to have a line and for it not to be crossed. And instead, they want to cross it and they want to push it. And it's not only a moral and culture and respectful issue, but it's a legal issue. It's not legal, as Thomas pointed out, to do this in the city of Vero Beach. And it's not legal to do this with minors present. And that it's bad enough if somebody does it, but when you have a city official, a vice mayor who's engaged in this kind of stuff flagrantly and carelessly, I mean, at the very least, that shows that person doesn't represent the whole community and doesn't exercise a whole lot of common sense and judgment, which are two things that should be qualifications for a public official.
Yeah. So let's hold it right there and break for a quick commercial.
Let's do it.
Warrior Shield Foundation is here to unite, honor, and provide support for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members. The foundation will enable them to find the help they need through direct assistance or by connecting them with our Shared Vision Network. Using data-driven models, we provide solutions that make a long-lasting difference. We, along with our partners, are dedicated to bringing together like-minded groups and individuals who have committed to making a difference in the lives of our hardworking, everyday heroes. We bridge the gap by connecting warriors or their families with the assistance they deserve and require, such as service dogs, wheelchairs, counseling, scholarships, and team building retreats, to name a few. You can help right now to make a difference for those who have helped and protected us all. Warrior Shield Foundation, selflessly doing for those who need it most.
It's a long way to home, but you won't take the hard road all alone. Just look to your left and look to your right. You were born to fight.
Indian River Connections brings you the first source you can watch for truth on board decisions in Indian River County. The Board Report, where taxpayers and policymakers intersect. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Visit IndianRiverConnections.com for more.
Hey, welcome
Hi,
back,
guys.
everybody. Hey, John, what do you think about those conversations we were having?
John lost
Mike.
internet connection, so John's not with us, and of course,
I
our
just called
scene
you,
is not
John.
there. That's okay. Hold on, bear with me. Things got shifted around during a scene shift there, but yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't think about that avenue that Taylor Dingle could have done that. I didn't go to the meeting and I didn't watch it. I was kind of hoping somebody was a voice of some common sense that sits alongside her. So I don't know. You know, I was kind of surprised that Vero, of all places, would allow adult entertainment.
Well, it doesn't.
City limits, right?
It doesn't. That's the whole point of the whole what he was saying. I have this. It says an adult entertainment business shall be located in the M industrial zoning district in accordance with the following restrictions. Adult entertainment businesses shall not be located within 1,000 feet of any residential zone, place of worship, education institution, park, or recreation facility. First off, downtown is not Zone M heavy industrial. I spoke at the meeting and I said, Zone M heavy industrials, we've talked about this here. It's out the airport where the sewer plant's going and all around the airport runway and that. So, it's already illegal. What she did was illegal, but she flouted the law. It's that simple. And she flouted the city ordinance that she took an oath to uphold.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
From her positional standpoint. Then there's the whole other criminal question with the state.
Yeah. And she was reelected once already since her first stunt, right?
Yes, she was reelected this past November.
Yeah,
she actually won.
Horrible.
The top 3 win in the running, and she was number 1.
That's pretty sad to think.
It is.
He had that much of a turnout, but those people rally, and I hate to say those people, but the people in that community will rally behind who they think is being victimized or oppressed, which is quite the opposite. Like, we're forced, we see it in the news everywhere. Like, we're forced to assimilate or accept this anything but normal way of living. Like, normal is a bad word, but we're just supposed to accept it and explain it away to our children. Meanwhile, like, it's detrimental, and then to see the people make excuses for it, like, we already know it's not moral. Like, I wouldn't have my kids there for that, not at all. I wouldn't have them in a bar anyways, but you might, find yourself in a bar / restaurant type setting, which this might be. I don't know. But I definitely wouldn't stick around. And she said on the dais that, it transitions and, who am I to tell somebody they can't stay with their kid? We're all about parental rights, right? And it was like, come on, lady, you are so disgusting.
Look, sexual abuse is not a parental right.
Right. It's
but actually, the question of who is she? She is vice mayor of the city,
right?
Who is committed to upholding the law. So it's against the law. So she is an official of the city. That's who she is, and that's what she should be doing.
Now, let me ask you this, Joanne. I think you're muted. Yeah. Now, just a quick question: could she be facing other charges with that evidence? If evidence shows minors in the building, could she be facing maybe child abuse or child endangerment?
It's very we could speculate on that. I mean, this is a subpoena to gather evidence to have a proper investigation. When you read the subpoena, it's all the video security cam stuff. They want all of it. They want logs about who was working, all the time cards, who's checked in, who's on staff, because obviously what are they going to do? They're going to interview all the staff. Mm-hmm. They're going to interview them. They're going to interview everyone who was there, because they're, if it's an over 18 situation, they're going to want to make sure that they were specifically following protocols to make sure that only people over the age of 18 were there. And it's those every one of them is a witness, and maybe in some cases possibly a suspect. I don't know, because they didn't adhere to the code of the law that this is 18 and over only. And that's going to be this is big.
Pretty big.
You have an AG looking at it, and so they have those. You look at those 6 points in there, and it's pretty thorough what they want, because they're going to do interviews, they're going to do all this stuff. And, we were thinking about going out there, but it's going to be closed door. Her testimony will be closed door because it's an evidence gathering process. So you can't tarnish the investigation. So there's no reason to go see it or anything like that.
We definitely don't want to cause any harm to the investigation.
Exactly. And so that's what this is. And then from all that information they call and work and follow up on and do all those things, charges could be brought forth, and it could be misdemeanors. I don't know exactly what they're thinking. So, and they're not going to tell us until they're done.
Yeah, I wonder if the parental rights thing is going to fall into play. And then they'll have to push charges on the ordinances that she broke from the city, because parental rights.
Well, and that's going to be a
in
city thing about the
question.
ordinances, I think.
Yeah.
Right, though.
Well, parental rights do not supersede the law. So if you've got a parent who is participating in that, the fact that you're a parent does not supersede the fact that you're participating in breaking the law. That location, I was trying to check, it's pretty close to less than 1,000 feet to the local school, amongst everything else. So there's a proximity issue just with schools, and they're
2 blocks from the Freshman Learning Center, right?
Yeah, well, it's about three or four. I'm trying to figure, but it looks like less than 1,000 if you were to go by as a crow flies. It's right, they're almost next to a school.
You're right.
These people should be on a list and shouldn't be within a certain distance of a school.
Exactly. Well,
yeah, I think they might be far enough from the school.
Yeah, it's
but living wise,
982
that business. But you're right; it's the wrong district, and even if it were the right district, you can't be that close to a school. It shouldn't be that close to a school.
But there are apartments right there, so you're not supposed to be 1,000 feet from apartments. It's not just a school. It's a
is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's residential, schools, places of worship, parks, or
it's a block and a half to a residence.
Yeah, well, so it's right. There's residents there and everything. You just can't do that there. That's just the way it is.
Well, apparently you can. If you're vice mayor.
Taylor Dingell said something, but all the other guys on the dais didn't say anything. They could have jumped in and said, "Okay, Taylor, let's make a vote." But they all sat there so quietly.
Right. And you're right, John.
To get through it and get over with it.
Exactly. And Taylor should be congratulated. Maybe he could have gone further than he did, but we should congratulate him for doing the right thing and stepping up and pointing that out. There's still the possibility of raising that as a motion going forward. And perhaps part of it is because nobody else was willing to say anything. They're all part of little Vero Beach's deep state.
Yeah.
And this person is doing this stuff. Somebody's doing some things, and they shouldn't be allowed to do them. And the other 3 people wouldn't even say a thing about it.
I'm going to bring John on. He's with us. He's back with us.
Wow.
But if I'm not mistaken, though, correct me if I'm wrong, I could have sworn that the former sheriff's address was on a protected list, and possibly some other city or county commissioners being law enforcement. I'm pretty sure she.
That's a good question.
I wonder if she broke any regulations or laws by posting his address on there. Also, John's back with us. John's got.
You mean in the picture?
Yes.
Quite possibly, and quite possibly John looks like he's on all fours.
There's a raccoon.
Is that a new pet, John? Are you downtown? Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah, he's hanging out with the coons.
We can't hear you, John.
Careful, Joanne.
What? It's a coon. It's a raccoon.
Yeah, John, we can't hear you, man. He's with us in spirit tonight, though.
But you raise a good point. One is, where did this person get all these addresses? If those are, if some of them are secure addresses.
Well, no, those addresses were addressed to the county offices.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It wasn't their personal homes.
I could see an address, and I didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it was the county building.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that, and the sheriff's office, obviously, 40, 55, 41 for all those who are playing at home.
Yeah. It's crazy times. I mean, city commissioners, drag shows, freaking, what was it, 24 counts, soliciting minor. I mean, it's freaking crazy. And
it was interstate exchange. They were working with a
Illinois
investigative team in Illinois, in Evanston, Illinois, I believe it was. And
is it Evanston? Wow,
I think so. And he was, he's just trafficking in all these images, and then particularly he's reaching out to 12-year-olds on Snapchat.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I had turned it on. I was listening to Del Toro, who's an excellent sheriff, and so he's just a good guy.
Yeah. Before I let you guys go, where are we at with our sheriff's budget? Is he getting what he wants, or is he going to have to go to the governor's office?
He's not getting it yet.
You're not going to get another dime out of these guys.
Yeah, they recommended an increase of 4.1 million, which is about 5%.
Or 4.7.
Well, see, on the version of the budget I have, 4.1, maybe you 4.7 was a more recent number, but it's far cry from the 14 million he was asking for.
Yes.
I mean, a long cry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are some deputies who have detracted from this department, and they're pretty vocal out there. One of which has got his own podcast and all, but he doesn't hold any punches when it comes to the reckless spending in the department. I know there's a lot of bad blood in when the frat boys break apart, but it is. I guess there was theatrics with the recycle bins and stuff like that. And, it's pretty concerning when the county and the city are both having a downtick in fiscal progress, I would say, is a nice way of saying it, I guess. But
yeah, it's
what
slow
would you
growth,
do?
but the growth here is depending on buying real estate. Huh?
Would you vote yes, give them the 14 million?
If my budget house was in order and could afford it, sure.
All right.
But
well,
it requires you. It requires as a commissioner, it requires you having 14 million to give them.
Right.
Well,
Really, at the end of the day, that's what it is. They say they have 4.7 million to give them. He's like, well, show me why. I think he could probably reduce his budget. I think they could probably cut theirs too. I mean, Kevin and I were talking about this today. Kevin, there are some interesting things that you saw, like massive increases that should be, looked at before they finalize anything.
Well, budgets are always weird because things come and go and move around. But for example, there's animal services was $0 last year, and it's almost $1.4 million this year.
That's to chase those raccoons that are in John's yard.
Yeah, or the little lizards which have infested the town. But there are a lot of what really you should have and don't have. Somebody mentioned it in jest, but I think it's right. You really need a Doge team. You need someone to go through and look at what's happening, not only with the sheriff's budget to say, you'd like to have this, but why don't we make sure that all the sheriff's deputies are paid properly, and then allocate what we can towards additional improvements. But then at the same time, go back to the county and say, you're giving money away to CSAC and all these things that's just being laundered through other NGOs, and there's a lot of funding that I think we could really easily free up, if not all 14 million that the sheriff wants, at least a much larger chunk than what they were able to allocate to him.
Yeah, there's a section of the budget that has non-governmental organizations and then quasi non-governmental organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Under the quasi, you have the
Humane Society.
Yeah, they get 609,000 last year. They got a 10% raise to 671 or something, 670. So, you're like, then you've got. We talked about this. The Gifford Youth Center gets money. It's like $18,000. But then again, GYAC is also getting big bucks from CSAC. So they're double dipping inside of the same budget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have people on the committee that are part of those NGOs either. That's kind of,
exactly.
It kind of messes things up because now you've got people that are on that NGO, and how are you going to not get money for that NGO?
It's called a conflict. It's called a conflict of interest.
Yep, that's right.
Not even the appearance of a conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest.
If the county were to fund a so-called Doge team, I would be very skeptical of who they were putting on it, because they're probably related to somebody on another committee.
The Doge is coming from Tallahassee. The way.
But now they're doing that, like county by county, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw you just went after one county and exposed them on
Broward, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah. Now, I mean, the ultimate Doge team are the citizens, because it's all available. And I mean, really, as soon as the Doge cloud passes on with a wind, they're back to doing reckless spending. And it's just, recycle bins here and cameras here and brand new Tahoes everywhere you look. It's like helicopters flying around. It's almost like we're in a metropolitan area, the way one, our sheriff department spends, and then two, our county is I do feel like I think I mentioned this last week. They're all in trouble when property taxes go away.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? I
Yeah,
mean,
they haven't prepared for that.
you're going to run off
rollback,
running up, business tax, or we're going to run up our sales tax. Yeah, so it's already tough out there. You see the price of ribeyes right now, almost $17 a pound.
Yep.
I know Pete Conti wanted me to do a podcast about the price of beef, and he had told me, because he shops every day, the owner of Olivia's, the items he shops for daily had gone up more than 7% within 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was looking at a pack of ribeyes that I used to get for $40. That's now running about $60-65. It's like, can't
That's
afford
insane.
so much.
If you want to get
They're going
good
to
meat,
force me to go vegan.
if you want to get good meat, go to
That won't
Wassie's
happen.
in Melbourne.
Wassie's in Melbourne.
Wassie's in Melbourne. Farm-fed meat. Oof,
Are they a commercial
so good.
sponsor?
No, they're not a commercial.
You got to sign them up.
Yep, you should go make a visit, Joanne.
Tell them we want.
Definitely
Just tell them
use
we
their
want
support.
steaks. We'll do
Yeah.
it.
We always get our steaks from there. Our meat.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
That's all I've got for you guys tonight. I'm sorry, John has been in and out. He's there. John, you want to come on real quick and see if we get a few minutes of John real quick?
Did Animal Services come by and get his raccoon?
John,
Can
you
you
with
hear me?
us?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yay, you can hear me. Oh,
I
thank
hear you
God.
now.
Never too late, just, like I said
Just in time.
like I said at the city council meeting, we are in the end times. We had a priest and that guy Hetty showed up. So we got Brian Hetty showed up, who never won an election in his entire life, who's like looks like Willie Nelson now. And then we got a priest that showed up that speaks.
Willie Nelson's groomed compared to that.
I want to bring him on the show.
Hetty?
Yeah, no, the priest.
Oh, the priest. Yeah.
Oh, Matthew DeGance.
What's his name? What was his name?
Matthew DeGance. I quoted him in the article on.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go.
It's
I'm
sort
going
of
to
a play-by-play article on.
I think I might go pay him a visit tomorrow.
I sent him a note. I sent him an
Good.
email. Thank you very much for speaking. He was very.
That would be a good show to do for connecting people, or have him on the board report.
Yeah, I'm going to go see him. I'm going to go have go talk to him, because I mean that was it was cool that he showed up, and it just shows you where we stand right now with the way things are. So we just got to keep speaking our truth. You guys did a great job tonight. Great show.
Well,
Yeah,
you.
John, sorry your internet hasn't been holding up. And
I don't know. I think it's my computer, so it is what it is.
How old is your computer?
It's pretty old, so I got a backup. So
No age jokes, please.
Time to upgrade.
Yep.
Okay,
Well, a little expensive. I got to go see how much they are at Sam's.
Yeah, I upgraded last time. I got done when it came to, this was the new thing at the time when I needed a new computer. And I was like, I'm not playing around with these couple $100, few $100 laptops that I have to replace every year or 2 years anyways. And then they end up, if they do last a third year, then you can't upgrade them anymore without paying or needing a new machine. So I went with an Apple, and I freaking love it. 2 years into it, and I've got no slowdown.
What do you got on the Mac? What's your Mac?
I've got the laptop, the MacBook. It's a Pro. The
17.
it's a 19-inch, I think.
19. Oh wow, they make them in 19.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
it's 2 years old, but it powers quite a bit, and I really don't have complaints, and I'll run quite a bit of crap through it doing these shows sometimes. And,
You've gone over to the dark side.
Yeah,
Hey,
video
man.
rendering and all that. So I'm pretty. It's not in that. We're not sponsored by Apple either.
No,
But,
we
it's a
got
good
Running
machine.
on the 27. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
fun.
okay, well,
All right. Thank
nobody
you,
wants to hear tech talk, but Guys, thank you.
Next
Joanne.
week for Tech Talk.
Yep. Next week we're coming back for a school board update, right?
Yes, school board meeting on Monday night.
Okay, cool. So if you've got nothing going on Monday night and you're local to Indian River County, if you can't make it, which you should try, but I get it, they stream it live or they post
on YouTube. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So definitely pay attention, man, because you can end up with people like, some donors to this lady could end up on your school board. You know, in fact, some of them were on the ballot last time for school board. So
Andy Gibbs was, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe she may have some friends on the school board now.
Yeah.
She might. Probably does.
Yeah, and we've
kind of like
been
an
ready
Epstein
for
list.
elections coming up. I haven't seen anybody put their name in the hat for elections yet.
Well, they're waiting to find out if they're on this local Epstein list, the friends list, or the Moore list. We call it the Moore list. Who's who? The who's who?
Part of the Vero Deep State.
The Linda Epstein list.
Yeah. So, anyways, you good, Joanne? I let you close it out. I don't want to take over your show.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Thomas Augustus and Kevin McDonald.
Thank you.
And John, finally, for Mike. Well, John, I got you guys confused today because usually John's on. So, John, thanks for finally showing up. And Mike, thanks for being on the show.
Made it.
And for everybody, hit the like, share, and subscribe tab to get notified when the board report goes live. And visit IndianRiverConnections.com to visit our network of podcasts like To The Point Podcast, TGI Now, the Connecting People and Places podcast, and Binford Chronicles and Shattering the Narrative. The board report airs every Friday at 7 p.m. So remember to join us and make sure you check us out on Rumble, X, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify.
And thank you, Gus Kearns, House of Champions.
Definitely.
Yes, Gus.
Thank you, guys. And stay tuned for the Conspiracy Club also coming to you live from Filthy's on August 14th.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Indian River Connections brings you the first source you can watch for truth on board decisions in Indian River County. The Board Report, where taxpayers and policymakers intersect. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Visit IndianRiverConnections.com for more. Sponsored by Gus Kearns, House of Champions.